The Jeep leaderboard has taken a bit of a shakeup, and we only are through round 2. We'll give the women the rest of the day off and now transition into the QS 10,000 format, protect their spots on the top 34. Joe Turpel alongside Rosie Hodge. And Rosie, we're already getting started with Michael Dunphy on running left.
Well, Michael Dunphy getting knifey from the East Coast, looking at home on these Huntington walls. Wow, what a way to start your heat. I think taking a leaf out of the women's book just to get that early score under your belt. He likes it. That body language says it all.
So a couple of waves to get caught up with here. Also, Evan Geiselman getting a start.
Well, Evan Geiselman is probably riding high after getting the call up for the Hurley Lowes Pro. See the flow that he brings into his approach. Goofy footer on, making his way to the inside, rebound off that whitewater and negotiates through the pilings. So a couple of rides to open up this heat.
And now back to live. Koa Smith from the island of Kauai. Down carve, sets up the lip to hit. Clean connection there. Now Koa looking for the reform. Looks like he's earned a spot into the inside track. Hard off the bottom, nice and vertical. Has a little shake of the hands for the finish. As we look at Koa's wave again, looks really fun right now, Rosie.
Well, Koa just has so much speed. He burns it off with that carve straight into that connection with the lip. So good versatility. Board is looking good under his feet. Looks like it's very responsive to get him through to this inside section. Whips it off the top. There's that handshake you're talking about, Joe.
With more action with Hiroto Arai. First turn solid. Second one nice and clean. You always feel great when you get a 2-turn combo to kick this one off. Steady through the reform. Hiroto Arai hard off the bottom and punches out the finishing move.
Yeah, he's got to be stoked with that.
The best surfers out here at the Huntington Pier. What about Hiroto's approach?
Oh man, he is a sashimi blade through these sections. So knifey. I love the way that he was able to make this section too, because sometimes it can get pretty dirty through this section, but he maintains his flow and his speed. Watch this thing, he just whacks it through the top. So
still paddling and gliding in now. Evan Geiselman. Nice flow into that first snap, moving down the line. A big tail whip. Hanging in there for a reform now. Just needed to look at a wave to really take the lead off Hiroto Arai, and he squares up a solid finish. What a brilliant start for the surfer from New Smyrna Beach. Big wind up and ending up on his feet after a tough section. Hiroto Arai had the wind-up going for the roof. Almost thought he was going to get buried. And he knew he had it the whole time. Now he's got a ton of speed and momentum and a pretty sizable reform option. Be a chunky whitewater end section and drills it shut. All 4 competitors ready to compete.
My way through, and then I also ran over Nolan Raposa paddling out. So it was just wild, but I made it, and yeah.
A lot to navigate. You looked really serious, which isn't typical for you going into this heat. Obviously, we've had a lot of different things happen, from, you know, injuries and crazy exits. What were your concerns going into this heat, and how did you overcome them?
I think this year I'm glad you noticed I look serious. I take that as a compliment because people don't think I'm so serious. And I found this new competitive drive and fire, and I'm just trying to show it in the water. And
he's always going to give you a show. He'll tell you how he's feeling, and he definitely stresses out more often than not, win or lose. Watching this one, a rock and roll float from Koa Smith. He can't hang on. It'll continue with Dunphy now. Nice speed jam heading for the pier. Sets him up for a classic coil up and powerhouse off the coping, and now he's into the reform.
Well, something I'm noticing with Michael Dunphy here is he actually got the same spray as Sage Eriksson on his surfboard, so maybe getting some inspiration from this. But wow, steering action here from the world's best qualifying series surfers. Some young emerging talent just showing what they have, and it's so good to see them show up and the conditions improve and see the spectacle that they're putting on. Hiroto, wow, good negotiation of that end section, so everyone getting quick back-to-back waves. Evan Geiselman, he's been putting on an absolute show, so backing up that 7.33, Evan Geiselman finds the inside connection, making it look so easy and fun out in the lineup.
To take the lead back. More waves on the way. Dunphy. Wind up, backhand float. Little off balance, so he's out of there.
Love that, and you can tell that he did have that bit of nervous energy. I think it's way harder to watch your loved ones compete than compete yourself.
Now Evan on a roll. Attacking this one. Trying to feel that mojo from the sand, from that support crew. Now gliding through the reform. Lily G since dropped to second. Now needs a 6.57. There's the finish. Squares up vertical, and that one's going to leave him behind. Eric Geiselman, Evan Geiselman, the same day. Same initials. Brothers ripping. One regular, one goofy. Here comes the wrap from Koa Smith. Layback, blow tail. Koa's loving it. Pulls himself back out. Now hunting down a reform. You deserve it, Koa. Working hard for the finish. Nice clean backhand float. These guys are timing the reform really well today.
We see the brothers going to fisticuffs on the beach.
What a great battle as we look at Evan's wave once again. What'd you like about it?
I just love the smooth transition, the way that he was able to fit in so many maneuvers. Could it have been a bit more dynamic with those first turns? Maybe, but still the flow that he executed every move with, and then finding the inside sweep. Let's see if that goes into his top two. But Koa, this move, every single turn, just put all that raw power into it. Just the Larry layback right here, getting back on his board, up and over it. So just putting all of that emphasis on every turn, going for broke on the inside section.
The early stages of the locker room showing up were happening here in Huntington. New York was the first official event that had them, like they deserved. As we continue on with this one, Mike Dunphy. Love that forehand snap, smooth style. And to work hard to just kind of get back into the source there. Now he's just weaving for this inside reform. He's going to make it without a problem. Setup turn, little 2-for-1 combo just to seal the deal in the end section.
Getting in the water myself. Look at this little A-frame. Deep bottom turn to make connection with that lip. Such a great maneuver choice for that section, just laying into it like that. You know you've got that reverb to push you all the way through, so you can push that tail as hard as you want. Does well to make this inside connection. I say that all the time, but a two-hit wonder.
So Mike Dunphy finding the magic here in Huntington. Passing the G-Shock 2-minute warning. Wind up off the bottom for Arai. Great timing. Brilliant first turn on the road to comeback. Keeps his flow off the roof on the second maneuver. Just barely avoiding the pilings. Now he's forced to shoot it towards the north end. Wanting the bonus reform. It's all going to be about the two turns he did out the back.
Nice steep wall to work with. Beautiful bottom turn to set up that top turn combination straight into that next maneuver. This is where he was hoping for that inside link. Bit of payoff on the inside would have been really nice to help his cause. 6.64 required, Joe.
I thought that was a fair effort to try to turn the heat. We'll see what the judges think here. Now with some glide and some room to go above the lip. Tail high and stomps it. Geiselman, which could have been an awkward landing for anyone else, lands in the flats and still in transition to the reform. Big windup, late hit off the roof, and he is going to get obliterated on the sand. Coming off with the rotation is Smith, and he's down. I think Evan's got to surf like he needs to score. This is what Koa did, Rosie, just going for broke on the end section. Unfortunately, the surfer from Kauai is going to get knocked out here. And this was Evan's last wave.
Wow, just throws everything at that one. Doesn't get the reverse, but wow, just such a dynamic maneuver to grab the judge's attention. This inside connection was really important, but this section grew teeth. So hard to negotiate, but throws it up anyway. Just gets blasted
And now scores coming in from the final exchange. Dunphy getting a wave in. Hiroto Arai, a 6.27 combination. Evan Geiselman ends up taking the win off Dunphy with his final score, turning in a 14.76 combined total. An entertaining heat from start to finish as we kick off the QS 10,000.